Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another gameplay video for you all. Today's gameplay video, if you could tell by the thumbnail, is Katsu versus Dash. Me and my buddy Matt were playing, and he was piloting Dash, more so kind of, not the aggro, or not even the control Dash per se, but it was kind of actually a more mid-range Dash list. But we figured we'd get a good gameplay and a good practice, so he's playing Dash, I'm playing Katsu. Playing the same list I've been playing for the most part. I have gone up to 15 blues as of late, but I will talk about that in my next update video. So for me, he decided to go first here. And when I drew into 3 blues and a whelming gust wave. So not a good hand. I drew up into a hand that I really don't want to see that much. So I was hoping he would try to attack a little bit. Maybe not swing with the pistol, maybe try to boost or something. But as any good Dash, he just loaded everything in Arsenal Pass, which honestly is a smart play for what he's wanting to do, because it's really hard for him to push really that much damage against me. So it put me in a really bad spot. So right now I have, I think, a Whelming Gust Wave, a Lord of Wind, a Lunging Press, all blues, and a red Whelming Gust Wave. So red Whelming Gust Wave, blue Whelming Gust Wave, Lord of Wind, and a Lunging Press. So no matter what line I do here, because nothing has go again, I'm not going to snap any of that. I'm just kind of screwed here. So I ended up just Kadachi and coming in with the red Whelming Gust Wave. I could have came in maybe with the blue, right? And then Arsenal the Whelming. That might have been a slightly better play. But I didn't want to cycle out my blues this early, right? Like, my thought process was, if I have 3 blues in hand and only have 15 blues in the deck, after turn 1, if I use another blue, I'm already getting rid of some of the blues in my deck permanently, and I don't want to do that. So I decided to come with 1-1-3 here, and because there's no go again or nothing, he knows I'm probably not going to snap them against you. I knew I could at least eke through maybe 4 or 5 damage, or 4 damage, and then go from there. He ended up blocking with a Skull Cap. Again, someone mentioned this in their video of why is he blocking with a Skull Cap with my Kadachis. Me and Matt have played each other a lot, and he's played against me with several different matchups, and he knows I use even bigger than that. So every once in a while, he will try to just mix his blocks up so I can't get even bigger than that as easy. It's not the most ideal block in the world, but totally understand why he did it. So I arsenaled the Lunging Press here, and I kept a blue in hand. That's another reason I didn't use the blue, is I wanted to try to have a blue in hand for next turn, just in case I drew into 3 reds. And he's just simply coming in here with the pistol for 2. I think he had kind of a bad hand, honestly. He gives it go again, and he ends up, I forgot what he attacks with here, but he ends up boosting. I think it's coming in for 3, I believe. Is here 3 or 4? For me with Dash, for the most part, unless they're a high octane turn or they start getting the Purifier and stuff like that, I'm just going to straight race them, because if you try to block out Dash too much, she's just going to eventually get her Purifiers out, get both her Induction Chambers out, and then she's going to beat you, because you're not going to be able to block her out or race her. So the key to Dash is simply just getting her life total down as quickly as possible, making it to where she has to start blocking with cards from hand, and can't go get those items. The other issue is, if she gets Spark of Genius or something, really puts you at a disadvantage. But I took 12 damage here, pretty significant, but I had an okay hand. My first 2 hands, I didn't draw into any combo stars, though. I didn't draw into a leg tap, didn't draw into a Surging Strike. I didn't even draw into 100 wins or Torrent Tempo or like anything, right? So I was drawing into which I don't even have a lot of in my deck, so it's weird. I was drawing into go again combo lines, which is really putting me in a weird situation. I didn't want to waste my snaps this early. So again, I'm kind of being conservative here, trying to just get his life total down a little bit and manage my life total as much as I can. Actually, I did get 100 wins here. I forgot what else I have in my hand, but it's not great. I think 100 wins here. Maybe that's the next hand where I drew bad. Okay, so yeah, I Lunging Pressed it to try to get it to hit, so I could maybe threaten Mask here and force him to commit cards from hand. It's not the most ideal thing to do, right? But now both have hit, and now even though I only have 1 card in hand, and I attack with it, which is a Soul Bead Strike, now he's forced, if he wants to, he's somewhat forced to block here, because I'm going to mass draw and it's going to have go again. And I know a lot of people don't run Soul Beat Strike, but this is the very reason I run it. I love running Soul Beat Strike and Torn and Tempo because they, if you can play them late in the chain, they force your opponent to commit cards from hand because they don't want you to get like draw triggers and go again. Right? That's why Snatch is so good. That's why Torrent and Soul Beat are so good on a mask attack. It's just how it goes. So I did force some cards from hand, which was really nice, and I eked through 2 damage. Again, not ideal for a Katsu, but if I forced 2 cards out of his hand and still, chipped him away. So he's going to keep doing his plan, which is, swing at the pistol, do as much as he can with attacks. He zipper hit here. I think that's it. No, that's not a zipper hit. I think it's a zipper hit. I'm not familiar with all the dash cards, at least the names. But he does this, and then he's going to come in with the pistol. I know he might end up playing something from Arsenal that's going to hurt too. He's got 2 resources flowing, so you can either give his a pistol go again, or he can come back with another attack. He ends up coming out Arsenal with the Dissolution Spear, which isn't fun either, because now my Kodachis are no good. I think it's called Dissolution Spear. It's a new dash item where every time he would be dealt 1 instance of damage, it prevents it. It's basically my Find Center. So the reason this card is really bad against me is it essentially ruins my Kodachis. I no longer can Kodachi because it's almost like he has a permanent Crown of Seeds on the field. So I have to completely change my play patterns up. And it lasts for 2 turns. So my Kodachis are basically null and void for 2 turns. And it makes it really hard for me, right? So he's able to change up my play patterns and really make me lose gas. I actually thought at this point in the game, like, I was comfortable and I knew I could like keep applying some pressure, but I was a little bit worried because like I'm down 10 life. I can't use my Kodachis to try to string together chains so I can make him block more. I basically have to hope I draw into a decent hand in order to, make something work. So now I'm sitting here thinking about how I'm going to do this. Like, what line am I going to use here? I forgot what I play here, so let's wait and see. Okay, yeah, so I played Exude Confidence, and I pitched the 3 to give it 6. I believe, what did I Arsenal? I don't remember off the top of my head what I Arsenaled. It might have been a Torrent Tempo. I don't remember what it was. It was an attack. Or no, it was an Ancestral Empowerment, I think. I think an Arsenal Ancestral Empowerment here. So coming in for 10 damage, not bad with no go again, but there's no real way to do it, and I'm not going to snap it. He was kind of trying to force me to bait out the snaps, and I just didn't do it. So, came in with 6 total damage, eking through, not bad. I'm managing my life total. I'm keeping it close enough until those Dissolution Spears go away. He took the counter off, so like I said, that item lasts 2 turns. It's a real big dash killer. It hurts. It sucks. Definitely one of the best cards against Katsu. And honestly, against a lot of the Rune Blades, to be honest. And it helps against breakpoints. If I attack for 4, now I'm basically attacking for 3. And this was kind of like, not a key point in the game, but a really nice point in the game. He boosted here, and he banished his own, his second version of that item. So he was about to draw into it again. So essentially, if he would have boosted there, he would have, this was the key point in the game. If he would have boosted there, he would have drew into another spear, which would have put my Kodachis out of commission for 2 more turns. And he boosted out his second induction chamber. So really unlucky for him that he couldn't go get, he boosted out 2 very key items for him and it lost tempo. But that is kind of, the risk you take when you play Dash and you boost a lot, is you can boost out really important cards, right? So at this point, I've seen both of those cards be boosted, and I know that I can take damage here now because, I have a good hand here, and I know that I'm at least going to get the life total to near even at this point after this turn. So, and then from there, I just try to manage the game. So, I took a lot of damage there. I'm down, 13 life. Looks a little grim, but it's really not. So I drew into a Surging Strike to a Whelming Gust Wave here. Perfect combo line you can draw. Matt has played against my Katsu probably 20 times in the past week, and he's at this point probably getting sick of me drawing into half the McGinchy line. When you play against a Katsu that you've never played against before, as far as the person, like, you don't have any recency bias on how you block. But with Matt, because I've drawn into the full combo so many times, he basically just blocks out my Surging Strike more times than not. which in my opinion is the right play. I think every time you see Surging Strike first, they could have the whelming in hand, but I think you have to force it. You have to force them to have the whelming in hand. I think he made the right play there. So he blocked the Surging just in case I didn't have whelming, so I couldn't go get whelming. I had whelming. Then he blocked out whelming, so I couldn't draw a card. Um, which was kind of an interesting one because for me, I probably would have. He just didn't want me to go get McGinchie. So I understand where he's just dumping his hand. Let's see how much damage you can do. But for me, he prevented the McGinchie release to come through, so I guess that was the right play. But now I torn a tempo into Whelming Gust Wave, doing an extra 8 damage unblocked pretty much. The Dissolution Spear doesn't really come into play here because it's not dealing only one instance of damage. So right there, I was able to take 8 damage out of him, and I was able to get rid of his entire hand other than his arsenal. So I really took tempo back here. His spear went away, so now I can Kadachi. But he did have Spark of Genius, which does help him a little bit. Now, he banished his second induction chamber, which doesn't help him at all. But he went and got Teklo-Core. We talked about this after the game a little bit. He couldn't go get Purifier or anything crazy like that because he couldn't pay for it. He had to go get the Teklo-Core because that's all he could pay for. Maybe he holds that and tries to wait, but at least he's trying to give himself some resources for next turn. So that way, he knows I'm going to come back for a lot here. And he's just trying to help set himself up for next turn in case he has to commit a card from hand for a block. This was a really fun game. I enjoy playing Dash because there's a lot of push and pull with Dash, and it's a really fun interactive game for me as a Katsu player. I have to really think ahead and really manage my life total, manage my card pool successfully. So I exude confidence here first because I'm going to snap it no matter what he does. I'm just trying to prevent him from playing defense reactions. I haven't seen any yet, but I don't want to, risk it. So he takes it, making me use snaps, which is a smart play. When he does that, I don't Katsu trigger here because I already have the Rising Ethos in hand. I could have went and got Hurricane Technique or Blackout Kick, but I wouldn't have been able to pay for it, right? So I wouldn't be able to play the full line because of lack of resources. So play a leg tap into Rising Ethos, a solid, 13 damage turn. He blocked out the leg tap to try to prevent me from going to get Rising Ethos. Little do you know I had Rising Ethos. And this is the issue that a lot of people come in when they play Katsu, right? Is do you block it out to prevent the Katsu trigger or try to prevent the Katsu trigger? But if you block it out and they already have it, then you're just going to take damage to the face because you've committed so many resources to the original block. That's why you want to try to present those combo stars as much as humanly possible to try to, force your opponent to block it out. Especially someone like a Dash who's not a Guardian and just can eat up damage without committing cards from hand. It's really hard. They really have to, come through and hit you for a lot. So he comes in with the pistol here. At this point, I have a lot of tempo. I'm doing really well. I'm feeling really good about where the game state is. And he comes in with another spear. So now my Kadachis, this is his third one, so I know he has none left. But my Kadachis, again, are out of commission for two turns. And you'll see here that although the game stays in a comfortable state for me, it definitely slowed down what I was trying to do. I think if he doesn't come in with that item, I essentially kill him in the next turn or two. Because I was just going to take tempo. But with that, now I can't Kadachi first. So it doesn't really help me at all. So on Lightning Strike here, he blocks it out. With the Dissolution Spear preventing exactly 1 instance damage, he only blocks for 4. And then we come in with the Snatch for 4, so all he's got to do is block for 3, and again, that Spear will fully block it out. So he's just deciding if he should block it or not. I have no go again. I have no way of giving it go again because I can't Razor it. I don't have any resources. He's just deciding, is the damage output worth it? He decides that it's not. So he ends up blocking it out, and there's nothing I can do. So I did commit 2 cards from his hand, though, and a piece of equipment, so he no longer has Skullcap to block with. He's going to get 2 more resources from Core. And then this is the good thing about Dash is if he is going with that pistol strategy, he can kind of, he can afford to commit some cards from hand because he can just low his pistol, low his purifier, low his induction chamber, and swing at me for 6, right? It's not ideal, but it's not something I want to block. So he's going to activate his purifier, swinging at me for 3. Let's take it. At this point, I'm just going to try to race him down to 0. He has no card in hand, so he can't present a really high level attack and boost on me. So I basically take 6 here, knowing that's all he can do to me. And yeah, so now I have a full grip, 7-11, a little bit unideal, but not too bad. And in this turn, I had 100 wins, a blue, and I forgot my last card. But I have Ancestral Empowerment and Arsenal, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get one of the 100 wins to hit so I can go get Winds of Eternity or possibly have the option to go get Winds of Eternity. He blocks for 2 or 3 here, which with Dissolution Spear, doesn't help at all. And I don't hit here. So I'm coming with the next 100 wins for 4, which is totally fine. I just got him to commit a card from hand. So I got 100 wins for 4 here. And I can break and scales it to give it 5. So he blocks for 3, and then Dissolution Spear makes it block for 4. I break and scales it to block for 5. And then I Ancestral Empowerment, doing it the correct way to draw a card. Trying to see if I can Katsu trigger here effectively, or have more options for what I want to go Katsu trigger and get. Looking back on it, I should have went and got another 100 wins. I don't know why I didn't. No, because I had already used it. That's why I couldn't go get it. I had already used my first 100 wins. That's why I thought about it during this turn. It would have been really nice, though. So I pitch a Whelming Gust Wave here. And I believe a Torrent. Do I Torrent here? Yeah, Torrent Tempo for 5. Again, this is why I like Torrent Tempo, right? What Torrent Tempo does is if you play it at the end of a chain when they've already committed cards from hand, like perfect example here, right? He's already blocked with 2 cards from hand. So in order to block with Torrent, because his equipment's been used up, he has to commit all his hand to stop Torrent from hitting, right? In which case, he's not going to be able to swing with the pistol. He's not going to be able to do anything next turn. He's going to lose tempo anyway. So he takes Torrent to see what I have. I'm just trying to maybe clean up the chain. And then I play Snatch for 4, which he definitely has to block out. Looking back on it, again, me being stupid and looking at this game and misplaying, I should have Kadachi'd and then snatched. But again, misplays were made. We were like, to be honest, like part of my language, you're shooting the shit, talking and playing. This wasn't like a hyper aggressive, hardcore test game. So, we just I messed it up. I thought he was going to block out Torrent Tempo too. So we were joking about how he always blocks out my Torrent Tempo. And I think in the midst of us just shooting the shit and joking around and all that stuff, that I just forgot about the Kadachis. It happens though. It's not a big deal. Not ideal. Definitely didn't do it correctly, but it's fine. It would have got him down to 2 though, instead of 4. So I take the damage here again, full grip. I'm highly confident I can present. I can eke through 5 damage on this hand. So I go ahead and go for that. So I'm just thinking about my line, how I want to do this. So I end up heart and cross trapping. I'm trying to make the most of all my resources here. I want to be able to use every card in hand and not have to pitch unless I absolutely have to. I don't believe I didn't have Whelming Gust Wave here. But he's thinking, again, he's seen me have both parts of the line so much. But he has to block here. Because if I don't have Whelming, he does not want me to go get it, right? He has to block out here. At least in my opinion. He doesn't end up blocking out though, I don't think. I think he blocks 3. I can't remember. So he blocked out. Okay, so he blocked 6. Forcing me to have to Razor if I want to do it, but I didn't. So I Kadachi'd for 1. Again, at this point, Trying to make the most of my resources. He takes it. I even bigger than that, and then this is where I just took tempo. I was hoping he'd block for 3 on that first turn, and I could even bigger than that off the surging, but he didn't do that. And so this is a key play. So what I did was I'll stop it for 2 seconds if y'all don't mind. I originally right here, I put a surging on top. I have 2 resources floating. I was going to put a surging strike on top and then Kadachi or not Kadachi, but surging strike for 5. But I was like, wait, he has 2 cards in hand. The other 2 cards were a blue Flusterfist and I forgot what the third card was, but it wasn't an attack. So at first I was like, well, let's get a surging strike. Then I was like, wait a second. He's going to be able to block that out enough to survive for next turn. So if I go get the blue Flusterfist, I can play the blue Flusterfist with a Quicken token for free, right? Which he's forced to sort of block. He can't go down to 1 health. No resources are taken. Then I can Kadachi for 1, which forces another card out of hand from him. And then I can leg tap for 4. So I had to think about this, and I was going through this in my head of like, wow, I almost just misplayed and went and got the Surging Strike. Went and got this new shiny toy of Surging Strike, but I switched it and got Flusterfist, made the correct play. End up doing 6 damage, which is more than a Surging Strike anyway. So this is just me, getting better as a player and learning how to play with even bigger than that more efficiently. So we end up playing for 2 with Go again. He has to really block it here. He blocks it out. I Kadachi for 1, goes down to 2. And then his last card he couldn't block with. It was an unblockable card. He had Techo Core, so he couldn't block with it. So that's how the game went. Ended up winning 3-0. It was a close game, but I felt in control the whole game, if that makes sense. I made the misplay with those 2 Kadachis, but overall, decently clean game. Him banishing his item and his 3rd Dissolution Spear really helped me out a lot. And it kind of swung tempo in my favor, but that's also kind of the risk you take with Dash. And he didn't have any D-Reacts. He was kind of running more of a mid-range deck. Trying to do a little bit of both, testing out the mid-range Dash. Or a little bit more of an aggregate Dash, I guess. But yeah, let me know what you think of the gameplay. Let me know what you think of Dash as a whole, as it pertains to Katsu. How do you think Dash is as a hero in this meta? Do you think she has a good place? It's definitely an interesting thing. I had 3 smashing good times in my deck to try to bust her items, and I never got one, which really sucked. But yeah, let me know what you think of the gameplay. Hopefully y'all are enjoying it. We're going to keep trying to give these to you and let y'all see some Katsu gameplay. But yeah, I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and have a great week, y'all. Thank you so much.